The third theme today that's very important is having the confidence to ask for help. Okay. This university, in some ways, can be a bit difficult to navigate. It is big, it is complex, but there are people here in the athletic department whose sole job is to ensure that we provide you the resources and help that you need to get you through your day to day work. Remember, asking for help is a strength, not a sign of weakness.
Hi, my name is Shakib Ahmed, and I'll be taking you through the next couple of slides. So at the University of Toronto, there are many resources for students to use. These are on campus and typically relate to either your academics, your health, or both. Now, they can be further divided into athlete-specific resources and those for the general population students. These resources for all students can also be further divided. Many resources are not college or faculty dependent, and others will depend on your college, faculty, or your campus in terms of your level of access and what's available. Some resources at the University of Toronto are academic support resources, the Health and Wellness Center, the Embedded Counselor and Good to Talk, which Steve will touch upon, as well as accessibility services. I emphasize that these are not all the resources on campus, just a few key ones that we pinpointed for you today. Now here's the graphic. We do not expect you to memorize this or copy it down. It's meant to give you a layout of how in-depth resources are available to students at the University of Toronto. These can be those resources that are available to all students. They can be campus specific at the college or faculty level, as well as for student athletes themselves. So please take a look at this for a moment just to see if anything catches your eye or if anything makes you confused or you have a question about, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. Now, what is ASAP? It is a program called the Academic Support for Athletes Program, hence ASAP for short. At its core, it's a study hall program where students are mandated to complete 4 hours of study hall time as well as skill sessions each term. It's coordinated by myself, Shakib Ahmed, and overseen by Steve Mancher. Based on your grade point average, a certain number of student athletes will be mandated into the structured program. A key note is that ASAP is not a punishment. It's designed to help students achieve a balance with their academics, athletics, and social lives. In fact, many students join ASAP every year voluntarily to proactively alleviate procrastination and other study concerns they may have. ASAP is in place to ensure that every student athlete is on a path to graduation. We have different criteria in which we place students in ASAP based on their year of study. Once again, please don't feel any obligation to copy this diagram down or feel like you have to know all of it. I'm more than happy to walk through this with you if you have any questions about it. So just a brief note is that based on your year of study, your GPA, as well as your admission status, you may be mandated into the ASAP cohort. You can also voluntarily sign up, or it could also be recommended to you based on your grades. So the formal ASAP mandated program, as I mentioned, is 4 hours of study hall each week in the blue and white room. Attendance at skill sessions such as reading, note-taking, time management, study habits, and other topics are mandatory for this program. As part of the mandated program, you also get top priority access to a team of tutors from various disciplines. Fun fact, this year, more than half of our tutors that we've hired are varsity athletes themselves, so they really know the experience of the student athlete. Part of the program is also to discuss and reflect on academic progress on a weekly basis with myself, the ASAP coordinator, as well as monitoring your grades and academic progress so I know how to make ASAP a program that's fit for you and not a one-size-fits-all approach. If you're not in part of the mandated ASAP program, you could always drop in and have informal visits with me to discuss any academic issues. My door is always open, except if I'm seeing a student. You can also use the blue and white room as a study space and access tutors through appointments. The schedules for the tutors will always be emailed to your coaches as well as um, to the tutors themselves so they know when you're here and you know when they're here. There's also a few athlete education sessions that we run. Some of these will be offered online through Quarkus and others will be offered in person. A few of them are academic integrity matters, reading and note-taking, procrastination, and effective writing for assignments. These are all key skills that you should develop 3 years of undergrad to ensure that you get better at these skills and you can really apply them in the classroom setting. Speaking of Corcus, something new we have this year is the Varsity Blues Athlete Education page. Almost all of your professors will use Quarkus as their main course pages. It can be accessed through q.utoronto.ca. You can also download the Canvas student app, which makes it super easy to go through your syllabuses, readings, and to make sure that you're on top of your assignments. On this Varsity Blues Athlete Education page, we plan to host some of these workshops so that you can get credit for your ASAP hours. The registrar's office is undoubtedly one of the most important parts of your academic journey. They're there to help you with academic advising, personal counseling, financial counseling, and so many more. If you don't know where your registrar's office is, please make sure you know because they will be one of your best resources. I guarantee it. Another key resource that I like to really push students towards is the Academic Success Center. Yes, I am available to host workshops as well as provide you with study skills and keep track of your academic progress. But they have a host of professionals who are more than happy to help you, and it's their job to come up with learning strategies and to develop workshops to really help you navigate your degree in a way that's best for you. There are also other specific aid centers. There's math, stats, economics, chemistry, philosophy, just to name. There are also writing centers. College specific again, you can go to writing.utoronto.ca to find out what the locations of your writing centers are at your college, as well as what their hours are. And also remember, ASAP has a host of writing tutors as well. This year we have 4 writing tutors to help you from the humanities all the way to the social sciences. There are also other academic resources on campus that host and hold things such as old exams. There's also peer tutoring available, as well as Degree Explorer, which lets you see the progress of your degree as you're going along. It's a really neat tool once you get towards the end of your degree because you can literally see the finish line. That's it for the academic resources. I'm going to turn it back over to Steve as he's going to talk to you a little bit more about the health resources on campus.
Hi, Steve back here to go through the final slides of the presentation today. First, you're going to see a nice colorful chart that Shakib's done up on the health resources that are available to you, both as a Varsity Blues student athlete and as a University of Toronto student. As a Varsity Blues student athlete, from athletic health and well-being, you all have access to the David L. McIntosh Sport Clinic, which is located on the 4th floor of the Goldring Center for High Performance Sport. All of your teams will have full-time therapists attached to your team. And if you were to injure yourself, let's just say over a weekend set of games, the number one rule of thumb is for you to call the clinic at 7 a.m. the next morning, business week, Monday through Friday, as there are time slots available with the doctors every single day that are set aside for student athletes. So if you injure yourself on let's just say a basketball doubleheader on a Saturday, call Monday morning at 7 a.m. and there will be hopefully a spot available for you with the doctor later that day. You must see a doctor in most instances before you can get physiotherapy. Mental health is one of the biggest issues impacting universities across all of North America. And so, what our athletic director, Beth Lee, has done in working with our health and wellness office on the St. George campus is one day a week we take one of their clinical psychologists and we embed them into Varsity Blues athletics. So what does that mean? That means on one day a week, our embedded counselor, whose name is Dr. Tracy Doyle, and that one day of week is Tuesdays, is she takes appointments directly and only for Varsity Blues student athletes. These appointments take place in the David L. McIntosh Clinic at the Goldring Center for High Performance Sport. In order to access this, all you need to do is call the health and wellness main line, and that number is plastered throughout your student athlete handbook. It's on the athletes only section of varsityblues.ca. And all you have to do is mention you're a Varsity Blues student athlete, and then you get put in the queue to see Dr. Doyle. This is a completely confidential service. Your coaches will never know. The administration staff will never know. It is clearly just a resource available to you if things are starting to feel a little out of hand that you have a person to talk to. You should also be aware that there's a number of embedded counselors across the university and could be very much attached to the academic division you belong with. So, if for whatever reason the queue to see Dr. Doyle is long, there are other ways to get yourself access to a counselor across the campus. So, the other number that we like to make sure that you're all aware of is the Good to Talk helpline. It is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline available for any Ontario post-secondary student. There are professional social workers on the other end of the line who have access to all the resources that you have available to you here at the University of Toronto. And the reason we find this is important is our university very much operates on a business schedule, and its hours are very much defined 9 to 5 or 9 to 7. And your life is not contained within a 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 time frame. So the Good to Talk line is a resource available to you for those times that you just need to speak to somebody outside of the core business hours. The last point that we want to make is all you University of Toronto students have access to health and wellness and the various resources available to you. You all pay for these resources through your student incidental fees. And this is a point that we want to make sure that you understand. You deserve access to these resources because you pay for them. If you need assistance in helping accessing these resources, please contact myself, Shakib, or Beth, and we will get you the support that you need. Our leader is Betha Lee. She is the director of athletics. She's a longtime field hockey coach at University of Toronto with a very impressive record. She's also been the head coach of our national field hockey program. Her main job, and I say this glowingly about her job is to provide a capacity to allow you to excel as a student athlete, both from an administrative perspective and from a facility perspective. There is no bigger advocate for you as a student athlete on this campus than Betha Lee. And because you're not getting to meet her in person, this is something that she wants you to do is open up your phone and add her as a contact. Her cell phone number is 647 990 5126. She is probably one of the few athletic directors across the country that gives out her cell phone number. But she wants you to understand that if there's any point that you need an answer to a question and you do not where to turn to, you can text her. And particularly at the beginning of school, she sometimes receives anywhere from 5 to 10 texts from first year student athletes a week. Okay? She will either answer your question or she will send it off to one of her staff members to get you the answer that you need. But please do not think that you're going about this alone. You have an entire team whose job is here to support you. And with that, we thank you for your attention. Again, here are the contact informations of two important people, Betha Lee and myself, Steve Mancher. Our offices are always open for Varsity Blues student athletes. We both have confidential components to our job descriptions, and we can be a support network for you as you go through this journey.